I started strength training just a few months before I turned 40. I tried 2 other times and failed. What finally made it stick was ignoring every piece of advice I've ever gotten. If you're a woman over 40 and you know you need to build strength but you hate the gym like I did, this is for you. Learn from my mistakes. Take the system I've developed and start strength training in a way that finally feels good. The first time I failed strength training, I was in my early 20s. I even hired a trainer, but I couldn't stick with it. At about the same time, I was getting really into yoga, and the contrast was really significant. I didn't like the piecemeal, overworking one type of the body that was happening in the gym, and I loved the connectivity the yoga practice was giving me. So I left strength training and went deep down the yoga rabbit hole. The second time I failed strength training was about a decade later. I was in my early 30s and I was in a committed relationship with a personal trainer. We were not just romantically involved, we owned a business together that had a private gym and a private yoga studio. He was an excellent personal trainer. He worked with the best and the brightest of San Francisco's tech elite, but he could not train me. At the time, I was at my most flexible and my most unstable. So anytime I added weight or load, I felt like I was on the verge of injury. Strength training did not feel safe in my body, and then his attempts to help me ended up in huge fights. We would go to the gym together and I would do yoga in a corner and he would do strength training. Because of the instability in my body, strength training felt like it would hurt me. And to get over that, I had to make it my own. Fast forward a few years and I'm in my late 30s, getting close to 40, and the muscle loss is obvious. I knew the science, I knew strength training was the answer, but I still could not get myself to go to the gym. I did not like the gym culture. I did not feel confident in the stability of my body. I was uncertain what to do and felt like I just wander around lost and waste a bunch of time. But I knew I had to start somewhere. So I started the place I know and love best, my yoga mat. Because I'd spent years working on functional breathing, I had more core, more intra-abdominal pressure, and a stability that I lacked before. That internal stability allowed me to add load, but I began with bands. I used bands on my forearms and my legs, and it started to build my confidence and even my enjoyment of the muscle engagement that was happening. Something unexpected happened too. The bands were amazing for my joints. I felt strong and steady in my joints, in my elbows, my shoulders, my knees, my hips, my lower back. And that was something I'd been missing for years. Because the bands gave me a positive experience of strength, then I started to use hand weights on my mat in the comfort of my home, and I got to experience another level and layer of strength building that was right for me. About the same time, I met someone. He's now my husband. He knew I was interested in strength training, so he took me to the gym. He did the perfect thing. He showed me a few things and then turned me loose. I fumbled around a little bit, but I had enough to start. And I built confidence with what I was doing at home. As I started playing around at the gym, I had this realization that in order for this to stick, in order for strength training to be sustainable for me, I had to like how it felt in my body. In other words, I needed it to feel like yoga, whole, connected, and integrated. This is where I defied all conventional wisdom. No leg day, no back day, no shoulder day for me. Each and every time I did a whole body workout based around myofascial meridians, so planes of connective tissue that gave me that sense of wholeness, completeness, integration that I've come to know and love from 20 years of yoga practice. And you know what? It worked. I've been able to strength train consistently for almost 4 years. Now, I am not maxing out. I am never lifting so heavy that I'm doing 1 or 2 reps. I'm on the sustainability route. And you know what? Sometimes when I push myself, when I go a little too heavy, I get injured and then I'm set back. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I ignored conventional wisdom where you separate body parts, where you're really going for it, 1 to 2 rep max. And yes, maybe I am not getting the ultimate, absolute strength building, muscle building, bone building I could, but I'm able to go regularly, and it has completely changed my body. I think that many of these rules and this conventional wisdom keep women stuck and keep us from even beginning. It's what creates that I hate the gym and why we often prefer things like yoga and Pilates. But if you make it your own, you might actually do it. After about a year, I really started to see results in my body, more stable in my joints. My muscles were starting to pop. Year 2, I was able to run again. And I had given up running in my early 30s because I experienced so much hip pain. But because I was building leg strength, I was able to run without compromising my hip. Huge win. Year 3, I started getting compliments on my arms when I'm walking around in grocery stores. So this works. I'm proof. So if you're a woman over 40 and you want to start strength training, I encourage you to make it your own. You can start building strength and building confidence at home on your yoga mat with bands, with core work, with sneaky strength, with hand weights. And then you can take that knowledge and confidence into the gym. I needed internal support, which I got through functional breathing and core work, stability in my joints, which I got through the bands, and confidence, which I got through the hand weights before I ever set foot in the gym. Once I was in the gym, I needed to do a whole body workout that helped me feel connected and integrated. Otherwise, I just feel really wiped out in one part of my body and kind of loosey-goosey weird in other parts. I practiced yoga asana every day for 2 decades. In the beginning, I would practice up to 3 hours a day. Over the years, I could spend less time on the mat to get the results I wanted. But that was not serving me as I got older and I started losing muscle mass and bone density. I was someone who hated the gym, so I never expected to like strength training so much. Nowadays, I go 4 to 5 times a week. I also run. I do tons of myofascial release, and I practice yoga just a few times a week in order to stay balanced and connected in my body. I still love the awareness it gives me, and that really served me with strength training. If this resonates, I'd love to hear from you. What keeps you from strength training? If you want to try a practice like what I started doing in the beginning, try the Asana Strong headstand practice. If you want a breakdown of the principles I used in the gym to make it feel more like yoga, watch the video on how to start strength training even if you hate the gym. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. See you soon.